People with dysfunctional families. What tore everyone apart? One day my younger sister Angela noticed some of her underwear was missing. She went looking for them and found the missing items in my brother's room. However, they were wet and slimy. She immediately told our parents and their reaction was quite severe. That day my 15-year-old brother Trey was hanging out in the basement playing Xbox with his friends Tommy, Jake, and Ethan. Tommy and Jake are good kids, but I've never really liked Ethan. He was always looking for attention, which was annoying. My parents in their infinite wisdom decided to confront my brother about this in front of his friends. This was the biggest mistake of their life. A lot of hurtful things were said. Apparently. Our mom said I knew you were weird, but not this weird. My dad added I raised a predator. Hey Tommy, did you know you were friends with a disgusting predator? In the end his friends left and my parents asked me to pick him up and let him stay with me for a couple of days. When I picked him up, he didn't utter a word and sat in silence. Trey spent most of his time in the room he was staying in. At my place, he wasn't going to school. He would only come out for dinner, skipping breakfast and lunch. When I walked by his room, I could just hear him sobbing. I've never seen him cry before. Usually when he's upset he just has a stoic expression. What was said must have deeply hurt him. At the end of the week, our parents called and wanted to talk to him, so they came over to my place. I tried to engage him in conversation before their arrival, but he ignored me. When our parents arrived, they apologized to him. Over the week they had noticed more of my sister's clothes in his room. Until one day my dad caught the dog with my sister's clothes. But by this time the damage had already been done. That little turd Ethan had gone around telling everyone about what a creep Trey was, and that girl should be careful around him at a high school. Once a rumor becomes prevalent enough, it becomes fact. And so now Trey's reputation was destroyed. I didn't blame him for not wanting to go to school. My brother simply said okay. My parents then told him that he was now allowed to come back home. That's when I lost it. There's no way he's going back with you. What you did to him was inexcusable. You embarrassed your son in front of his friends and kicked him out of your house all over, something he didn't even do. I then turned to Trey and asked him, do you want to go with them? You are more than welcome to stay with me, Trey. His face was stoic, but I could see his eyes were watering up. He just shook his head. I want to stay for a bit. My parents were slightly frustrated, but they didn't want to force him to do anything, so he stayed with me. Over the next few days it became clear that something was wrong with Trey and his depression was getting worse. He stopped even eating dinner with me and would just come down and take the food to his room. Every time he left his room he was all covered up wearing a sweatshirt. I started to get really worried. I had seen this pattern before. My best friend in high school had taken her own life and it started out like this.